Welcome to Study Like a Scientist HSC questions, and remember, when you have an HSC question in front of you, you must read the question. Highlight the verbs so that you know what you're going to tackle. Make sure you understand all the key words and the purpose of the question, so answer the question that is written and not the question you want it to be. Notice any plurals and the number of marks, and when you plan your response, remember to use scientific vocabulary. Work out how you're going to communicate with the examiner in terms of, is it a paragraph or a table or a flowchart? Engage with the stimulus if there is one, and be logical with your response. So put in the evidence and put in your information in a logical order. And then check that your response has addressed all those points. So let's have a look at the last question on the 2023 paper. That's question 35, and it's another stimulus question. So this time it looks like it's from module 6. It's about chemical mutagens. Now, don't panic. You may not have met BU, which is 5-bromouracil. It doesn't matter. The information is here in the question. It tells you that it bonds with adenine in place of thymine in DNA. And then during replication, it then binds with guanine. So it makes a real mess of the DNA. And it shows you in a little flow diagram what happens. So when it's present, during replication, what should have been a TA bond has now become a CG bond. So that's bad, okay? And that happens on one of the strands of DNA. So it tells you it will make a guanine cytosine pair on one strand of DNA instead of AT pair. So that's what this diagram shows. So the question is in two parts. So we start off with an identify. So you just need to state it, say what it is, straightforward, and then you describe. And what's interesting here is you describe the possible effects. Do you see the S on the end? And possible. Okay, so it doesn't have to be, you don't have to know about this. It's what could those effects be. And on the protein, now proteins have structure and function, so we'll want to talk about both of those aspects of proteins. Okay, so let's have a look at the marking criteria. So very simple for part A, and then part B, we're looking for comprehensive, so we want lots of detail to get full marks, and we want it talking about the amino acid sequence as well as the structure and the function of the protein. Okay, so we want to relate all those things together. So with that in mind, use the stimulus and the marking criteria and have a read of this student's response. I'm already feeling great about part A, but let's have a look at part B and see if we can improve it. So pause this, have a look, and decide how many marks it's worth and what could be improved. Okay, so what did you decide? So substitution looks good. And if you go from A to G, there will be a change in the codon, which means that tRNA anticodon will be different, and then the amino acid would be different. And this would change the way the protein folds, and it might change the active site, so it doesn't work anymore. This sounds great. Did you notice that this is only one outcome? So this would be a change in amino acid, but it could be silent, which means that the amino acid doesn't change. Therefore, it won't have an effect. And it could also be changed to a stop codon. So there are different things that could happen, not just changing the amino acid. So this is an answer, and it's not wrong, it's just not very complete. So apply your understanding and add more detail and plan out a better response for this question.